Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things we're talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. We'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. We'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause the times is the man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
The man, the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to the man,
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact.
Good morning, Earthlings. Welcome back to First Contact Radio. How you doing today? Glad that you could be here. Today's January 27th. January 27th. It's a Wednesday, so here's what we're looking at right here. Our sun sign, as we know, is in Aquarius, and our moon sign right now is Virgo. So we know by now Virgo is the Hermit. Virgo is the Hermit right here. The Hermit is teaching us the lesson of patience and timing. The color is gray because he's neutral. He's not leaning too far one direction or the other. He's got the light that he's holding high for others to see, a lantern shining that light. Okay, so the Hermit's all about patience, teaching, timing. So these are the important lessons that we're dealing with on the unconscious mind. And all of those aspects of the Hermit, of Virgo, are going to play themselves today in these different aspects. We have Saturn, which already happened, which is discipline. Mercury, communication. 4:56 a.m. Pluto brings some transformation. And then as we got into the daytime, the next one we're going to encounter is coming up at 10:05 a.m. And we have an opposition with Chiron. Chiron's the wounded healer. So we have something that's an earth sign dealing with a sign, an aspect, or a little sign here that is about finding the healing within ourselves. So maybe this is something, concern for the body. Maybe we're going to take some time out, focus on the body, what we need to do to make it feel better, okay? What we need to do to put it back in check the way it needs to be. And then 6:10 p.m. we're going to begin void, of course, with Jupiter expanding things in the realm of the Hermit as we wait out our time to go into Libra, where we'll be tomorrow morning. So today's a day of patience, timing, working things out for the physical world we're in, taking care of ourselves, making sure that we are looking out for ourselves, as well as being able to reach out to others. But if we can't help ourselves first, then therein lies the problem. We have this opposition I was telling you about right here. We have the moon sign is over in Virgo, but the sign of Chiron is in Pisces, all about feelings. So, this might, feelings, how do we feel? What's our health situation? The wounded healer, what part of ourselves is hurting? What emotional aspect of ourselves needs to be dealt with? The Hermit here, the teacher, needs to be patient. Okay? Moon sign, 87.9% of a moon, making its way down to the new moon, where it's be on February 8th. 17 Shavat is the name on the Jewish calendar today, or the date. The daily thought is feminine bread. A man's way is to serve your impoverished soul ideas. Perhaps you will be wise enough to translate those ideas into deeds. But a woman goes straight for the stomach and the core. She tells you, this is who you are. This is what you must do to be who you are. 13-tone day on the Mayan Oracle, Dreamspell Oracle. So it's a jumping off point here. We have the storm, the gathering of energy, getting ready to make that jump into the next wave spell. This is symbol number 19. Symbol number 20 is next. That is the sun, so the next wave spell will be the wave spell of the sun, which is the symbol we're using today as our like-minded energy, which is enlightenment. We're getting ready to jump to that phase of enlightenment. Purifications are a challenge for today. The hidden power is inspiration, and the monkey playfulness is our guide, reminding us that we need to look at life in a playful situation, not take it so serious, because when we do, things go all out of whack sometimes. I endure in order to catalyze transcending energy. I seal the matrix of self-generation with the cosmic tone of presence. I'm guided by the power of abundance. Today is a galactic activation portal day, as it is 2 over and 2 up. So we have a conjunction of these energies here, meeting a meeting point. Spaceweather.com, solar winds 366.1 kilometers per second. Planetary index is quiet at a 2. Could get a little bit higher as far as a 3 over the next 24 hours. Still building this corona hole on top, but no notification of any wind coming our way. M-class flare possibility is subsiding from 10 down to 5. Geomagnetic storm activity is subsiding as well, going down from 25 to 15 in the mid-latitudes, big jump down, and from 30 down to 20 in the upper latitudes. So things are subsiding a little bit with the energies around us from the cosmos. And up at the sky tonight, last night Jupiter was a little bit left. Tonight it's going to be above the moon. Okay, Jupiter's going to be above the moon. It's that bright, bright, bright planet that you're seeing when you're looking out. And straight up above it we have Leo. Okay. Goes on to say the waning gibbous moon doesn't rise until about 9 p.m. now, depending on your location, giving you a 2-hour window of dark sky observing after nightfall. When the moon comes up, it'll have a bright companion, Jupiter, standing a few degrees above it. Okay. And that's our cosmic weather. If you haven't got out, get out tonight. Take a look at the moon. I've been going out the last several nights. Really, really bright skies, certainly here in Southern California. Really opportune time to see the sky and all the stars, and good stuff, good stuff. All right, there you go. UFO News is up next. Here we go.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right. First story. UFO causes explosion over Colima volcano. This goes back to the 3rd of January. Okay, here's our little object in question. You can see something going on at the volcano there. This long UFO was caught over Colima, Mexico, January 3rd. The UFO passes over and through the lava shot up from the mouth of the volcano. As it gets by the mouth, there is a burst of light and all goes black. The UFO then flies away. I believe that as the UFO went over the mouth, it transported someone or something to and from the underground base below the volcano. Okay, so there you go. And these volcanoes, these webcams, they're available. You can see it says webcam Stay Mexico, so you can go look at these yourself, watch what's going on. Here we have over San Antonio, Texas, an object that was seen. This certainly looks like an object, not a lens flare. For those unfamiliar with this phenomena, UFO variable, it's believed that these crafts are converting the sun's energy into electromagnetics travel around. If you pay close attention, you will notice that UFOs have spheres that rotate inside of them. According to the hypothesis thermodynamic, in reality, spheres are converting sun's energy into electromagnetic. I have researched the subject and come to realize this is a real phenomenon. In my opinion, I believe to have captured one traveling overhead, thanks to my good friend and fellow skywatcher, Jason Bales. For the first, we clearly see it change shape and witness for yourself as these UFO orbs around inside its structure. Rare look at how these UFOs interact. Okay, very, very interesting. Good shot. 6 minutes and 21 seconds for the video, so you really get an opportunity to take a good look at this. The link's available, so you can check it out. Okay? All right, here we go. Classified video of an alien craft in the Phoenix Lights area. Former U.S. Air Force aviator has recently leaked classified video of the Phoenix Lights UFO phenomenon, being claimed that the footage shows a cockpit video of Lockheed Martin F-16 and Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt jet fighters. The never-before-seen footage has received a lot of interest in the public as it showed the two fighter jets in action in the night when the famous Phoenix Lights UFO took place 19 years ago. The report further claimed that another footage had been obtained showing multiple civilian casualties. Dubbed as one of the largest UFOs in North America, the Phoenix Lights incident had alarmed thousands of Arizona residents when it apparently saw a massive object in the sky above Phoenix. There we go. Several eyewitnesses reported craft, a diamond-shaped, hovering in the city over a couple of hours. Until today, questions about the incident are still being asked. The eyewitness can recall the phenomenon clearly, and the newly released video has stirred more tension on the infamous event. Okay, very interesting. Where's this footage coming from? U.S. Air Force aviator. All right. Very cool. Let's take another look at that here. Interesting. Question is this a military craft? Is that why he has this footage? Because it was a military project? Very cool. Anybody has any ideas? Let me know. firstcontactradio@yahoo.com. All right, this question here is, did a UFO crash in the valley near Phoenix, Arizona? A story has been going around the valley about a UFO crash at the base at Squall Peak Mountain, now Paistua Peak, in 1947. It goes on to say that the government, in an effort to hide all the evidence of the crash, built a Dreamy Draw Dam over the spacecraft. There are several versions of the story. One of them is outlined in a book written in 1950 by Frank Scully called Behind Flying Saucers. Scully wrote that in October of 47, an alien space saucer crashed in the valley. It bounced, skipped, and landed miles away in a creek cave or Paradise Valley. Another version says that there were actually aliens on board who perished, and their bodies were hauled away by the U.S. government. Dreamy Draw Dam was then allegedly built over the site to cover it up. What I sought to do is figure out what happened to Dreamy Draw. All I could do and find there were rumors. There was a witness who claimed to have seen something happen either in a cave creek or Paradise Valley or Dreamy Draw. Unfortunately, before I could speak to the witness directly, he passed away, said Alejandro Rojas. Rojas hosts Open Minds Radio and is a UFO researcher and a journalist. He explores UFO phenomena from his Valley office. Rojas acknowledges that Dreamy Draw Dam UFO story has several holes. The witness was said to have been an unsavory character with little credibility. The dam, which was allegedly built to hide the alien crash site in 47, was actually built in 73 for flood control purposes. All right, there's more to the story. Check it out, see what you think. And I'm moving on. This last piece I just wanted to bring up to bring your attention to it here. Of all the fringe interest groups orbiting the landscape of American politics, there is perhaps none quite as maligned as those committed to uncovering the truth about extraterrestrial life. In the recent elections, these UFO advocates have mostly laid low, ignored, if not openly mocked by politicians seeking higher office. But as the 2016 race gets underway, alien hunters are starting to wonder if this election might be different. The group got some high-profile encouragement last month after none other than Hillary Clinton, in an interview with a small New Hampshire paper. The Democratic president said she promised if elected she would share whatever information exists about contact with extraterrestrials. I'm going to stop right there because I only want to make one point about this article here. To all of those alien seekers and hunters, if you truly believe that this woman is going to release something, then you're really not paying attention. Okay? This woman has a string of lies behind her. She doesn't have the qualifications. She's just saying what she's saying because she's mocking you. Mocking you, saying that because you believe that there are things in the sky, you're willing to believe that she's an honest person. Don't fall for it. Please don't fall for it. You know, when the powers that be, when these people in office, when they do these things and they push these buttons because they believe people are stupid enough to believe their lies. And if you fall for it, if you really fall for it, then, you know, I don't know what to tell you. But Hillary's not going to release anything. Okay? Hillary's not going to release anything. She's just saying this, and you should know that. So for any of you alien hunters out there, because I know how these articles are, they're slanted to some degree or another, but it says here the group got some high-profile encouragement. Well, what group? Alien Hunters isn't just one group, okay? So don't buy into this nonsense. Hillary's not going to release anything. She's just trying to say what she can to cover her butt because she's getting in trouble for a lot of other stuff. She's trying to distract attention from there. Okay? That's enough said in that matter. I think you know how I feel. Moving on. I'll be right back. We're going to continue with the Nag Hammadi Library. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
continue on here. So we got a lot of craziness going on in the world, and I wanted to, wanted to bring your attention to that previous article because powers that be, they're trying, man, they're trying to continue all their nonsense in this world. This incident that's going on up in Oregon. Don't know if you're hearing about it because it's not really on the mainstream, but couple of guys got shot last night. There was reports coming out that some of the shooting was done and a person got shot. Their hands were up and they still got shot. Um, Reports from the land that the land has various minerals and uranium and other properties on there, and that this is actually a land grab that's going on, and somehow the Hillary Clinton Foundation is involved and wanting to sell off land rights to Russia. I mean, there's all kind of stories coming out of there through alternative media. So the truth is not being told by the mainstream, and that's the whole point. The last couple days, last week and this week, we've been talking about the Nag Hammadi Library and the books that are in there. And the story that is in there is different than the story that's being told. And I believe it's a very important story because it lets us know that the one who created certainly humankind, and I'm still not certain how it lays out in there, whether this being created the realm of the planets and the earth in this particular system as a model or counterfeit, but certainly we have come to understand that the fallen one was the one who created this visible realm that we're in and the humankind that's here. The archons have assisted. These forces behind the scenes are pulling a lot of strings. They're shadowy, dark figures, okay? And they work and they have influenced leaders of this world for a long time. So the truths are going to continue to be hidden unless we allow them to come out. And I know what's going on up in Oregon is pretty drastic, and it's going to bring the people up there that need to get up there to handle the situation, whoever they might be. And we need to pick our fights. We need to look and decide what we're going to do in this country because things are changing drastically, my friends. Things are changing drastically, and if we don't decide where we're going to draw our line and how we're going to participate, we might be looking back in a few years and wonder what happened to the good old United States and how did we let it collapse in such drastic fashion. Now, with the collapse and the change that's going on, I believe there's a lot of positive stuff, and I believe that there's growth happening alongside of the collapse that is taking place and the change, and that's the transition. And so I hope that through these efforts that we're part of the new growth that's going on, that those in the alternative community, those who are thinking and looking and exploring, are those who are part of this next change, this next evolution. But we're only going to get there when we get to the truth, when we're brave enough to do that, when we put aside all of our political correctness and all of the nonsense that we've gotten ourselves in these days and look for the truth. And the reason I'm going on and on about truth, because today I'm going to read the Gospel of Truth from the Nag Hammadi Library. So let me get to it. And you'll notice as I go through this, just remember the story we've gone over thus far. The Mother, Father, God created all things. Let me show you a quick graph here. The Mother, Father, God up in the highest realm. When they interacted, there was a spark that created the divine autogens, also known as the Christ consciousness. Not a person, but an energy. This energy then went and manifested and was created 4 other realms. And each of these realms had 3 sub-realms. So we have 12 realms, all under the authority of the autogens Christ, who is letting all of the energy of the Mother, the Father flow through him into all of this. Because everything flows through, okay? Everything is fed like a river. And as it goes and meets these other rivers, it just adds to it. But the mother, the Father, is part of everything. And then as it gets to the Christ is part of everything. So as we see all things, in reality, there's not an opportunity for Christ not to be part of everything, because we could see that the energy has to flow through. It's available to all. So somewhere down here, we had Yaldabaoth, the error. Okay, so let me move on with the story. Gospel of Truth. Joy to those who know the Father. The gospel of truth is joy for those who know, who have received from the Father of truth the grace of knowing Him by the power of the Word, who has come from the fullness and who is in the thought and the mind of the Father. This is the one who is called the Savior, since that is the name of the work that He must do for the redemption of those who have not known the Father. For the name of the gospel is the revelation of hope, since that is the discovery of those who seek Him, because the realm of all sought Him from whom it came. You see, all was inside of Him, that illimitable, inconceivable one who is better than every thought. The ignorance of the Father brought about terror and fear, and terror became dense like a fog, so no one was able to see. Because of this, error became strong, but she worked on her material substance vainly, because she did not know the truth. And she assumed a fashioned figure while she was preparing in power and in beauty the substitute for truth. This then was not a humiliation for the illimitable, inconceivable ones, for they were as nothing, this terror and this forgetfulness and this figure of falsehood, whereas established truth is unchanging, unperturbed, and completely beneficial, beautiful. For this reason, do not take error too seriously. Since error had no root, she was a fog regarding the Father. She was preparing works in forgetfulness and fears in order, by these means, to beguile those of the middle and to make them captive. The forgetfulness of error was not revealed. It did not become light beside the Father. Forgetfulness did not exist with the Father, although it existed because of Him. What exists in Him is knowledge, which is revealed so that forgetfulness might be destroyed and that the Father might be known. Since forgetfulness existed because the Father was not known, if the Father comes to be known from that moment on, forgetfulness will cease to exist. Jesus is the fruit of knowledge. This is the gospel of Him who they seek, which has revealed to the perfect through the mercies of the Father as the hidden mystery, Jesus the Anointed. Through Him He enlightened those who were in darkness because of forgetfulness. He enlightened them and gave them a path, and that path is the truth that He taught them. For this reason error was angry with Him. So she persecuted Him. She distressed by Him, and was made powerless. He was nailed to a tree. He became a fruit of knowledge of the Father. He did not, however, destroy them because they ate it. He rather caused those who ate of it to be joyful because of this discovery. And as for Him, He found them in Himself, and they found Him in themselves, that illimitable, inconceivable one, that perfect Father who made all, in whom the realms all is, in whom the realms of all lacks, since He retained in Himself their perfection, which He had not given to all. The Father was not jealous. What jealousy indeed is there between Him and His members? For even if the eternal being had received their perfection, they would not have been able to approach the perfection of the Father, because He retained their perfection in Himself, giving it away to them as a way to return to Him, and as a knowledge unique in the perfection. He is the one who set all in order, and in whom all existed, and in whom all lacked, as one of whom some have no knowledge. He wants them to know Him and to love Him. What did they lack if not the knowledge of the Father? Jesus became a guide, quiet and at leisure. In the middle of school, He came and spoke the word as a teacher. Those who were wise in their own estimation came to put Him to the test, but He discredited them as empty-headed people. They hated Him because they really were not wise. After all, they came also as little children, those who possessed the knowledge of the Father. When they became strong as they were taught the aspects of the Father's face, they came to know and they were known. They were glorified, and they gave glory. In their heart, the living book of the living was manifest. The book was written in the thought and in the mind of the Father, and from before the foundation of all is in that incomprehensible part of him. This is the book that no one found possible to take, since it is reserved for him who will take it and be slain. No one could appear among those who believed in salvation as long as the book had not appeared. For this reason, the compassionate, faithful Jesus was patient in his sufferings until he took that book, since he knew that his death meant life for many. Just as the case of a will that has not yet been opened, the fortune of the deceased master of the house is hidden, so also in the case of all that has been hidden, as long as the Father of all was invisible and unique in himself, in whom every space has its source. For this reason Jesus appeared. He put on that book. He was nailed to a cross. He affixed the edict of the Father to the cross. Oh, such great teaching! He abases himself even unto death, though he is clothed in eternal life. Having divested himself of these perishable rags, he clothed himself in incorruptibility, which no one could possibly take from him. Having entered into the empty territory of fears, he passed before those who were stripped by forgetfulness, being both knowledge and perfection, proclaiming the things that are in the heart of the Father, so that he became the wisdom of those who have received instruction. But those who are to be taught the living, who are inscribed in the book of the living, learn for themselves, receiving instructions from the Father, turning to him again. Since the perfection of the all is in the Father, it is necessary for all to ascend to him. Therefore, if one has knowledge, he gets what belongs to him and draws it to himself. For one who is ignorant is deficient, and it is great deficiency, since he lacks that which will make him perfect. Since the perfection of all is in the Father, it is necessary for all to ascend to him, and for each one to get the things that are his. He wrote these things first, having prepared them to be given to those who came from him. Those whose names he knew first were called last, so the one who has knowledge is the one whose name the Father has pronounced. For one whose name has not been spoken is ignorant. Indeed, how shall one hear if a name has not been uttered? For whoever remains ignorant until the end is a creature of forgetfulness, and will perish with it. If this is not so, why have these wretches no name? Why have they no voice? Hence, whoever has knowledge is from above. If called, that person hears, replies, and turns towards him who called. That person ascends to him and knows how he is called. Having knowledge, that person does the will of him who called. That person desires to please him, finds rest, and receives a certain name. Those who thus are going to have knowledge know whence they came and whither they are going. They know it as someone who, having become intoxicated, has turned from his drunkenness, and having become himself, is restored to what is own. He has turned many from error. He went before them to their own places, from which they departed when they erred, because of the depth of him who surrounds every place, whereas there is nothing that surrounds him. It was a great wonder that they were in the Father without knowing him, and that they were able to learn on their own, since they were not able to contain him and know him in whom they were. For indeed his will had not come forth for him. For he revealed it as a knowledge, with which as many emanations agree, namely the knowledge of the living book, that has revealed to the eternal beings at last as his letters, displaying them that are not merely vowels or consonants, so that one may read them or think of them as something void of meaning. The contrary, they are letters that convey the truth. They are pronounced only when they are known. Each book is a perfect truth, like a perfect book, for they are written hand by hand of the unity, since the Father wrote them for the eternal beings, so that they, by means of his letters, might come to know the Father. His wisdom contemplates the Word. His teaching expresses it. His knowledge revealed it. His honor is crowned upon it. His joy agrees with it. His glory has exalted it. His image has revealed it. His rest has received it. His love has embodied it. His trust has embraced it. Thus the word of the Father goes forth into all, being the fruit of his heart and expression of his will. It supports all. It chooses them and also takes the character of all and purifies them, causing them to return to the Father, to the Mother, Jesus of the utmost sweetness. The Father opens his bosom, and the bosom of is the Holy Spirit. He reveals his hidden self, which is the Son, so that through the compassion of the Father the eternal beings may know him, end their weary search for the Father, and rest themselves in him, knowing that this is rest. After he had filled what was incomplete, he did away with its form, the form of that which was incomplete in the world which is served. For where there is envy and strife, there is incompleteness. But where there is unity, there is completeness. Since this incompleteness came about because they did not know the Father, from the moment when they know the Father, incompleteness will cease to exist. As one's ignorance disappears when one gains knowledge, and as darkness disappears when light appears, so also incompleteness is eliminated by completeness. Certainly from the moment on, form is no longer manifest, but will be dissolved into fusion with unity. Now their works lie scattered. In time, unity will make the space complete. By means of unity, each one will understand himself. By means of knowledge, one will purify himself from the multiplicity into unity, devouring matter within himself like fire and darkness by light, death by life. Certainly, if these things had happened to each one of us, it is fitting for us, surely, to think about all, so that the house may be holy and silent for unity. Like people who have moved from a house, if they have some dishes around that are not good, they are broken. Nevertheless, the householder does not suffer a loss, but rejoices, for in the place of these defective dishes there are those that are completely perfect. For this is the judgment that has come from above, and that has judged every person, a drawn two-edged sword cutting on this side and that. When the word appeared, who is in the heart of those who pronounced it, it was not merely a sound, but has become a body. A great disturbance occurred among the dishes, for some were emptied, others filled, some were provided for, and others were removed. Some were purified, still others were broken. All the spaces were shaken and disturbed, for they have no composure or stability. Error was disturbed, not knowing what she should do. She was troubled, she lamented, she was beside herself because she did not know anything. When knowledge, which is the abolishment of error, approached her with all her emanations, error was empty. Since that was nothing in her, there was nothing in her. Truth appeared. All its emanations recognized it. They greeted the Father in truth with the power which is complete and which joins them with the Father. Each one loves truth because truth is the mouth of the Father. His tongue is the Holy Spirit. Whoever touches truth touches the mouth of the Father by the tongue at the time when one receives the Holy Spirit. This the manifestation of the Father and the revelation to his eternal beings. He revealed what is hidden to him and explained it. For who is it who exists if it is not the Father himself? All the spaces are his emanations. They knew that they stem from him as children from a perfect man. They knew that they had not yet received form, nor had they received a name. Every one of them which is of the Father produces. If they at that time received the form of his knowledge, though they are truly in him, they do not know him. But the Father is perfect. He knows every space that is within him. If he pleases, he reveals anyone whom he desires by giving him a form and by giving him a name. And he does give a name and cause to come into being. Those who do not yet exist are ignorant of him who created them. I do not say then that those who do not yet exist are nothing, but they are in him who will desire that they exist when he pleases, like an event that is going to happen. On the one hand, he knows before everything is revealed what he will produce. On the other hand, the fruit that has not yet been revealed does not know anything, nor is anything either. Thus each space that on its part is in the Father comes from the existent one, who on his part has established it from the non-existent. For whoever has no root has no fruit. But although thinking, I have come into this being, that I will perish, for this reason whoever does not exist at all will never exist. What then is that which he wants such one to think? I am like the shadows and the phantom of light. When morning comes, this one knows that the fear that has been experienced was nothing. Thus they were ignorant of the Father. He is the one whom they did not see, since there had been fear and confusion and lack of confidence and double-mindedness and division, that there were many illusions that were conceived by them, as well as empty ignorance, as if they were fast asleep and found themselves a prey to troubled dreams. Either they are fleeing elsewhere, or they lack strength to escape when pursued. They are involved in inflicting blows, or they themselves receive bruises. They are falling from high places, or they fly through the air with no wings at all. Other times it is as if certain people are trying to kill them, even though there is no pursuing them, or they themselves are killing those beside them, and they are stained by their blood, until the moment when they who are passing through all of these things, I mean they who have experienced all these confusions, awaken, they see nothing, because the dreams were nothing. It is thus that they who cast ignorance from them like sleep do not consider it to be anything, nor regard its properties to be something real, but they renounce them like a dream in the night, and they consider the knowledge of the Father to be the dawn. It is thus that each one is acted as if asleep during the time of ignorance, and thus a person comes to understand as if awakening. And happy is the one who comes to himself and awakens. Indeed, blessings on the one who has opened the eyes of the blind. The spirit came to the person in haste when the person was awakened. Having given its hand to the one lying prone on the ground, it placed him firmly on his feet, for he had not yet stood up. This gave them the means of knowledge, the knowledge of the Father, and the revelation of His Son. For when they saw it and listened to it, He permitted them to take a taste of, and to smell, and to grasp the beloved Son. The Son appeared informing them of the Father, the illimitable One. He inspired them with that which is in the mind, while doing His will. Many received that light and turned towards Him, but material people were alien to Him and did not discern His appearance nor recognize Him. For He came in the likeness of flesh, and nothing blocked His way, because what is incorruptible is irresistible. Moreover, while saying new things, speaking about what is in the heart of the Father, He proclaimed the faultless Word. Light spoke through His mouth, and His voice brought forth life. He gave them thought and understanding and mercy and salvation, and the spirit of strength derived from the infinity and the sweetness of the Father. He caused punishments and scourgings to cease, for it was they that caused many in need of mercy to stray from Him in error and in chains. And He mightily destroyed them and derided them with that knowledge. He became a path for those who went astray, and knowledge for those who were ignorant, a discovery for those who sought, and a support for those who tremble, a purity for those who were defiled. He is the shepherd who left behind the 99 sheep which had not strayed, and went in search of the one that was lost. He rejoiced when he found it, for 99 is a number expressed with the left hand. The moment he finds the one, however, the whole number is transferred to the right. Thus it is with him who lacks the one, that is, the entire right hand, which attracts that in which is deficient, seizes it from the left side, and transfers it to the right. In this way, then, the number becomes 100. This is the symbol of the sound of the numbers. It is the Father. He labored even on the Sabbath for the sheep that he had fallen into the pit. He saved the life of that sheep, bringing it up from the pit, that you may understand fully what the Sabbath is, you who are the children of the understanding of the heart. It is the day in which it is not fitting that salvation be idle, so that you may speak of the heavenly day that has no night, and the sun that does not set, because it is perfect. Say then in your heart that you are perfect this day, and that your lives the light will not fail. Speak concerning the truth to those who seek it, and knowledge to those who in their error have committed sins. Make sure-footed those who stumble, and stretch forth your hands to the sick. Nourish the hungry, and set at ease those who are troubled. Raise up and awaken those who sleep. You are this understanding that seizes you. If the strong follow this course, they are even stronger. Turn your attention to yourselves. Do not be concerned with the other things, namely that which you have cast forth from yourself, that which you have dismissed. Do not return to them to eat them. Do not be moth-eaten. Do not be worm-eaten, for you have already shaken it off. Do not be a place of the devil, for you have already destroyed him. Do not strengthen your last obstacles, because that is reprehensible. For the lawless one is nothing. He harms himself more than the law, for the one does his works because he is a lawless person. But this one, because he is a righteous person, and does the works among others. Do the will of the Father, then for you, you are from him. I think I'm going to stop right there for the day. And we will pick up right here, the sweetness of the Father, tomorrow. Okay, so very interesting. And are you picking up what's going on? You know, they're talking about Yeshua, Jesus, and the ministry and the time, and it all goes back to this graphic right here. Let me show you this graphic again. Right here, the Mother and the Father shine through this energy, the divine autogens. And this is not a person. This is a pure consciousness available to all that just flowed into these other realms. So every realm that is created, each one of these is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have additional 3 down here, 3. So we have 12 realms. It's like a waterfall that starts up here, and this water flows down through here, and then this water continues to flow, and it's flavored with the other water it passes through. So this Christ energy flows into all things. Flows into all things. So since all things are filled with the flow of energy from the Mother, from the Father, that is passing through the Christ, all are available to have that energy. All are available, they have available to them the opportunity to see and experience the Father. That is what Yeshua meant when he said that you would see the Father through him, because it's shining through. He was a representative of that Christ energy, which pours itself into all. And as it pours itself into all, we could see that we could have a world with many beings who are really filled with that spirit of the Christ. And that's what the idea is, to remove that ignorance, to stand in that place of the perfected being. So we'll continue on tomorrow with that, the gospel of truth. And in the meantime, today I'm going to play this as the message for today, our channeled message. Here we go.
Mayan message tilde day 250, choices. Choices. Tilde January 26th, 2016. Mayan messages. Written by Teresa Crabtree. Greetings, dear one. Can you feel the excitement in the air when you make a decision that feels right? Have you ever wondered where that feeling comes from? Why do some decisions feel right while at other times you battle within your mind to choose the best outcome for a situation? Often, there is a knowingness that something feels right because you have set a clear intention. In these moments, you are in flow with creation. You know what you want and you know what to do to obtain it. No matter what anyone else says, you know you will move forward, taking the necessary steps to attain that goal. When a person has this surety, we on the other side can assist in making this a reality. It is like having a work order in which one states exactly what they want. We look at the work order, which is a clear intention fueled by passion, and begin to mold whatever we can into leading that person towards his destination. What often happens is the person wavers, falling into snares of unworthiness, doubt, anxiety, fear, etc. These often are fueled by well-meaning friends and family who express their concerns. If the person continues steadfast in his goal, we can continue to place before him opportunities to move along his path. These synchronicities will continue, leading him toward his destination. When this occurs, one can know he is on the path. However, we wish to remind you that even if there are subtle fears, they can impede progress, so go within and seek any belief codes or negative thinking that may hinder your ability to progress towards your dreams.
All right, there you go. Very good practical message. Very important about getting in our dreams. It's all about, it's all about understanding the truth about ourselves and what we have available to us. And what we have available to us is this amazing connection that flows from the source of all life. So all we have to do is apply that, Everything's a flow. The word emanation is the word that is used because this energy emanates out. It emanates from the mother and the father. It emanates. And so it just flows outward. And the flow of God, the flow of spirit continues. And you know what blocks up a flow? A dam. So we need to remove the dams to allow the flow to happen. Because with the dams come ignorance, because we don't have the flow of energy and we're ignorant of where our source comes from. So we think, if we're on the physical world, that it comes from the physical world. And that's the ignorance. It comes from someplace much further beyond. Remember, the spirit, fire, water, air, brings down the earth. Those are all very important things. So, it's not too difficult. Not too difficult. Just a simple formula. We have to have the belief. All right, let's do our meditation for today. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now let's just imagine that we're looking in a mirror. And as we look in the mirror, we see our reflection, the outer reflection of who we are. And as we look deep into this reflection, we begin to see past the outer image to the inner reflection. And once we look inside of ourselves, we're able to see the places that are illuminated and places where there is any darkness, doubts, or fears. So imagine we pick up a little broom, dust rag, and we go through and we do some house cleaning and clean away the doubts, the cobwebs of doubt and fear. And we make sure that there's plenty of light illuminating the truths within ourselves, that we are connected to the source of all life, the Mother, the Father, the Son. And as we think about these connections, we feel the flow of spirit that flows through our being. So we thank you, Heavenly Mother and Father, Son. Thank you for the blessings that flow from you through us into all of the world today. Thank you for the opportunity to see the truths that are before us and within us. And thank you for giving us the courage to shine forth these truths into the world, that we might all participate in illuminating the darkness. And let us just see ourselves walking along the path, shining brightly because we've cleansed the doubts and the fears from us. And let's just imagine shining light into the world and moving humbly through the world, just allowing that light of spirit, that light of God to shine brightly. So let the subconscious mind continue on this journey, and let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2, coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1, coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That's it for today. Thank you very much for being here. Tomorrow we'll continue on with the Gospel of Truth. I believe we should be able to finish it tomorrow. And find some more UFO stories and all that good stuff. Just thanks for being here. Keep believing in yourselves. Believe in the opportunities we have before us. Just because there's a world that's going, seems to be falling apart, just remember, there's a world that's coming together, and we're part of that change, and we're part of that. So think creatively, think positively, and let's just know that we're the ones we've been waiting for. That's it. I love you. Keep loving each other. I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.